What's up, everybody? What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Jca Sports Podcast with the special guest right here. Baby Nat is making her appearance into the podcast. You know, the best one out of all of us. Actually, I can't deny it. So she's making an appearance real quick as I'm doing daddy duties at the moment. Let's get on with the podcast with my boy Jose Contreras. I am Eric Avila. Jonathan Playo is in the comment section. New intro, new year, new intro. I guess we could go with that one. Pretty good job right there, Jose. I appreciate it with the hard work that you got, man. Pretty dope.
Appreciate it. Yes, and in the comments, we already know we got our boy, our brother, Jonathan Parlay, Jonathan Palayo, Jonathan, the best of us. No, I'm just playing.
Yes. That's for sure. Yeah. Baby Nat. Yep.
Fellas, Rick.
For
also
sure,
in
for
the
sure,
comments,
but-
we love the intro. I appreciate it, Rick. I appreciate it, my boy. And look at this. Who is this?
Trying to show up.
Oh my God, from the shadows.
Man, where you come up?
Bro, where the hell you been? Where you been?
Man, for real, man. I
was just thinking about him right before we went on. I was like, bro, you know who I miss, who I haven't seen in a while? CP. Why the hell have you not been on, bro? I have to carry the show.
No,
we need you.
Don't let's not lie to all the audience that we have here. Let's not do it. I miss CP. CP holds it down. I miss him. I'd rather have him over you two guys any day out of the week.
And that's fair. That's
very fair.
John said Natalie's holding it down. That's right. Natalie is holding it down.
What you gotta say? What you gotta say? You seen this? No? She's just holding
That's
on.
our boy CP, man. We miss CP. You already know. If you want to cop in this show with us, bro, you're more than welcome.
And not just only CP, but everybody else too as well, guys. Make sure you follow us on the Facebook pages, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch under the John Conavi, and also under the Star 6 Media Facebook page and social media platforms too as well. As always, you can always join this show by clicking on to the link in the comment section that we have right here for you guys to pop up. Or you could just join like John, CP, and Rick too as well in the comments. We will read your comments throughout the show. And as always, make sure you guys hit the little bell.
Hey man, I thought you said you got a haircut today.
When all our episodes are live, not just ours, but also the EAFP Sports Strip Live, who's only football, and all the other podcasts that we have under this Star 6 Media platform. But man, let's get right into it. Let's get into the show.
I thought you said you got a haircut today.
I did.
You look like
just,
Butch
right now, it's just the sides, you know. I need hair. I'm not like you, bro, that it gets buzz cut all the time, bro. I need hair in my life, okay? So shout out to my barber, Magic. Yes, Mustache Lounge. The one and only. If you guys don't get your haircut from there, then you guys are not getting very good haircut quality.
That's the biggest. That's like the biggest. BS lie I've ever heard in my life. Because
nope. And make sure
you get haircuts other places and it comes out fresh to death.
Anywho, let's get right into it, guys. This weekend is coming up very important. Well, not really important. Very exciting. As we have the wild card playoffs coming in live this week, starting on Saturday, ending on Monday. We're going to give it previews all from the AFC to the NFC. What team do we like coming out of the matchups? We're also going to give our best trade scenarios. I really do. I really, really do. But it is what it is.
Drop that link for my boy CP one more time.
What do we got? We're also going to talk about the draft scenario too as well. The Bears got the number 1 draft pick. We want to know what you guys think. What should the Bears do with that pick? Should they keep it? Should they trade? Should they trade anybody else too as well? And also stick around because at the end of the show, we're going to give out our winner from our Jca Sports Podcast finals for our fantasy league. For our Jca Sports Fantasy League too as well. We have a winner, and we're going to announce it at the end of the show. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Who won our fantasy league? First things first, though, Jose. Let's start off with the playoffs, and let's start with the AFC. A lot of pretty interesting matchups, and then there's a lot of matchups in the AFC too as well that kind of. Okay, it got watered down a little bit because due to injuries too as well.
Right.
But let's start off with the first one. Let's go with Bills and Dolphins in this one, man, in a matchup where, the Bills, whatever you want to say, should have gotten number 1 seed. They didn't because how should I say this? Unfortunate situations, yes, it happened to them, but now they're in the 2nd seed. And they faced against the Miami Dolphins, a divisional rival at that too as well. But they won't have their number 1 quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa. Is this an easy walkthrough for the Buffalo Bills against the Miami Dolphins this weekend?
I don't want to say easy because you have some talent on the opposition over there in Miami. They just need a quarterback that's able to is able to get the ball to Tyreek Hill, to Jalen Waddle. And if they can do that, then they're going to be dangerous offensively, like they have been all year. But not having Tua Tagovailoa definitely hurts the Miami Dolphins. And like I said, I don't want to say it's going to be a cakewalk for the Bills, but you got to take the Bills to win this, like hands down. You have to. I mean, the Bills, in my eyes, they're hungry. They have that extra motivation because they're doing it for Damar Hamlin. They were the favorites for a lot of people coming into this season, and they almost stay the favorite throughout. They have been a bit inconsistent. Josh Allen, I mean, he does turn the ball over quite a few, a lot more times than I would like, but regardless of the fact, this is an amazing team. This is a great team with a bunch of talent on it. So Bills all the way, Eric. I don't see this being much of a challenge, but I'll tell you what, if whoever the quarterback is for the Miami Dolphins, I'm sure they're keeping that pretty quiet right now, but whoever it is, again, all they really have to do is play a smart game, be a game manager, get the ball to your playmakers, give it to Jalen Waddle, give it to Tyreek Hill, and those guys can make some magic for real. Speaking of magic,
we got our boy CP right on cue. Man, I miss you, bro. I miss you, man. Where you been at? Where have you been at all my life, bro?
Man, it's crazy, hectic schedule, man. Dealing with school and all that stuff.
We appreciate you. We're proud of you, my boy. We see you.
Yeah, man, we see you, man. I might as well get, man, happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, bro, Happy Hanukkah, all the holidays that we missed out, man. I haven't seen
it's been that long.
Shit, I'm so sorry, y'all. Damn, I be losing track. I've been thinking about y'all. I promise you.
Hey, same here.
Same here, man.
I was literally gonna reach out to you because I was like, man, I haven't heard from CP in a while. I gotta make sure he's okay.
Yeah, man, we miss you, man. We really, really do, but we appreciate you hopping on, man. And when we're talking about the AFC playoffs, man, the first matchup that we just literally started off with are the Bills and Dolphins. Has this game been watered down with the injury of Tua Tagovailoa not being in the game?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And to be honest, if Tua was there, I think it'd probably be the same result anyway. But that game probably will not be competitive, to say the least. I mean, the Dolphins barely got into the playoffs last week. Skylar Thompson, maybe Teddy Bridgewater could make it a little bit exciting, but Skylar Thompson, no. Like, that man can't even get Tyreek the ball. And it's just, I don't know if that game going to be even worth watching.
You're absolutely right, man. It's a matchup where, like I said, even if it was at full strength, how exciting would it have been anyways, right? Like you said.
I think it would have been very exciting.
Very exciting.
Full shirt, very exciting.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah,
man, because right before the injuries, I kind of seen the downside of Tua Tagovailoa towards the tail end of the season, and especially when they played against the Chicago Bears, man, it didn't look like that high-powered team that came in that started in the beginning of the season. And we saw the team
how many points, though, Eric? They still score how many points? And remember that first matchup between the Bills and the Dolphins. Look, the one thing we can say about Tua Tagovailoa, he may not be the quarterback everybody wants, but he's damn sure better than most of the quarterbacks in this league. And best for sure the best quarterback in Miami, because when they were a scary team offensively when he was healthy. And it's unfortunate that he isn't, because they finally made the playoffs. And he's, this is supposed to be like a prove it year for him, but to say the least, don't disrespect Tua too much, because I thought he proved himself a little bit.
Right. That last game in Buffalo was very exciting. Buffalo had to really work to steal that game from Miami.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, yeah, but like in every game, I guess you could turn it. But I mean, I get it. The injury is one thing. I will not take away from the injury. I know he had a concussion, multiple concussions throughout this whole entire time. So, I mean, yeah, but I'm still not a believer. And I told you guys in the beginning, I'm still not a believer in Tua like that just yet. Albeit he has the injury, so maybe I'll just give him a little slide under, but I still don't think he's good enough to carry this team and probably even get a playoff win. Even if he was healthy, I still wouldn't even give him a win over the Bills.
It's kind of weird.
Over the Bills, no, but one of those other AFC teams, you just never know. With Tyreek, with the way Hill and Waddle had looked this year, you just never know. Against the Chiefs defense, they probably could have lit them up. Baltimore is all over the place. Miami could have beat a handful of those teams. Buffalo is a really bad matchup for them.
But and also I don't know if Tua would have been, if Tua would play, I don't know if it would have been 100% a beatdown from the Bills. You know, Josh
Oh,
Allen
yeah.
does make a lot of mistakes, and I think if there's one team that can capitalize that offensively, it's Miami. So it's like, you know, I don't see the Bills to be the world beaters I thought they would be coming into the season,
For sure.
because they have proved and they have shown some deficiencies and some weaknesses throughout the season.
Especially in the red zone.
Exactly, especially in the red zone. So I think if there would have been a team, it would have been Miami offensively to kind of take advantage of that. So, but I mean, I don't know. That's just me.
No, for sure, and you know, I think even then, so I still believe that the Bills will probably still have enough firepower over the Miami Dolphins, even on defense. The only thing is, you're right, the defense has been a little on the iffy side for Buffalo in the last couple of weeks too, as well. So, I mean, again, it's kind of a downfall that we don't have the teams at full strength, and obviously this is kind of more of an easy leaning over the Buffalo Bills side to win this game, and I think there's no competition. I think we all agree, right? The Buffalo Bills against the Miami Dolphins this week.
I had to remind myself that was Mac Jones going against the Bills last week and not Tom Brady. Like, they let Mac Jones really look like a.
Hey, give the Patriots some credit though, man. They fought to the end. That team is as we all know, is well coached, and Mac Jones, you know, he's a quarterback. We all were like, oh man, can he be better than Fields last year? That question has been answered, and it's a no. But you could tell he does have something there, and you know that the Patriots do have something there that they could build off of for sure, because they made it close towards the end, and they were this close to making the playoffs.
Right, it's just up to Bill to put some more weapons around. I mean, Devontae Parker's okay, but he's not the Devontae Parker of 5 years ago.
Yeah, you can't treat Mac Jones like you did Tom Brady. He's not going to make
exactly.
Starts. You got to give him talent.
And you can see the Bills' defense, like, they're really missing Von Miller, as you can see. Like, people have put up a lot of points against them these past few weeks, and it's just it's like you said, they're not looking like the world beaters we thought they would be. How they looked against LA in that opener in the beginning of the season, everybody was thinking, hey, this might be Buffalo year.
Right.
That defense isn't looking all good. Like, Josh Allen is probably going to have to outscore everybody, and that's the last thing you want against the Chiefs or somebody. That's why they lost to the Chiefs last year. They couldn't stop Mahomes, and now it looks like the defense is even worse than last year. So,
yeah, that's why I said, like, to answer your question here before we went off on this, we all agree the Bills are going to win and beat the Dolphins, but that's why I said they're lucky that Tua isn't playing, because again, that defense is not the defense it was with Von Miller there. And again, if there's an offense that can score points by the dozen, it's definitely the Miami Dolphins when healthy.
Hey, we want to know what you guys think too as well. We put it on the comment section too as well. Who you guys have, the Bills or the Dolphins, for this weekend's matchup? And also, as always, make sure you guys like and share all of our shows, not only just the Jca Sports Podcast, but all the other podcasts under the Star 6 Media production social media pages too as well. Moving on to another game that probably is also hindering with the injury too as well. We go with the Bengals and the Ravens. No Lamar Jackson in this game too as well.
And I was
cakewalk for the Cincinnati Bengals against the Ravens. CP, let's go with CP.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I was praying that Lamar Jackson would somehow make it back for this game, but it's like, nope. It's probably going to be a game full of runs for the Ravens. I don't see the defense really stopping Joe Burrow. Bengals are finally getting healthy again. Jamar Chase is back. T. Higgins. It's going to be too much for Baltimore to stop. Even, and who's quarterbacking? Huntley is still in there quarterbacking?
I think it's Huntley, but I'm pretty sure last week he didn't play because he was injured too as well. So I don't even know who their starter is, to be honest with you.
Some guy named Anthony Brown.
Is Lamar Jackson not coming back or what?
Nah, his injury, bro.
No, he's still.
Wait, let me say it like this: his injury. Because there's a lot of speculation out there.
The contract.
And he didn't want to play because contract year, and he doesn't want to lose out on money.
Oh man, he would get ripped so bad for that.
Look. Well, here's the thing: he knows just as much as we all do. That team does not have what it takes to win anything this year because they don't help him whatsoever offensively. No. Defensively, they're stacked. I mean, they just signed Roquan, and good on them for doing that. And good on Roquan, right? But like, come on, you have a quarterback, an MVP type quarterback, and Lamar Jackson. The fact that you have yet to pay him, that you have yet to give him any pieces around him, I'm sorry, but that is the most disrespectful thing in the world. Why would you put your body on the line for that team that hasn't shown you that they care about you at all? Like, let's be honest.
That's a good point.
No, and you're absolutely right, and that's the reason why I say injury, right?
Injury, yeah.
Because again, he's in his last year. He wants to get paid. The Ravens still have that opportunity to tag him, and we may or may not see this again next year too, as well. Where sometimes somewhere in the middle of the season, you see Lamar Jackson performing his very best with what he has, and next thing you know, he has a injury that will keep him out the most of the season as well, like he did this year, because they're not paying him the way they're supposed to. You're
They're
right, Jose. You said he's an MVP player, and they don't have anything around him.
they
Maybe they don't
shouldn't
trust him. I don't know.
they shouldn't be tiptoeing around this though, considering how many teams need a quarterback this upcoming year. I know for sure whether it be the Jets, Seahawks, Panthers, any one of those teams will give Lamar Jackson the money he wants.
Dude,
I don't think the Ravens should play about this situation, and then you'll be right back where you started with no quarterback and at the bottom of the AFC North. Like, you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? Like putting yourself through all this, especially after everything Lamar Jackson has done for you the past few years.
exactly.
He's the only reason you're relevant, bro. Like,
Yes.
and you want to just let that. Like,
You're right. No, you're
let's
absolutely
be
right.
real. Who's going to watch the Ravens if Lamar Jackson is not there?
This isn't what 2002 when they what year was it? Was it 2007? What year they won when it was Ray Lewis? They had
That was 2000. They won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, in 2000.
Yeah,
And also
this isn't 2000 when
2012.
you're running your defense's coattails. You know what I mean?
Not at all. Or 2013. Like,
Right.
Or 13, yeah.
Come on, man. This is a different league. This is a different animal. You have a quarterback. The thing about I like to compare Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson, but what we know about Lamar Jackson that we have yet to find out about Justin Fields is that he can throw. Lamar Jackson can throw.
he's proven it.
He's proven it, and again, he's an MVP for a reason. This team needs to stop playing, man. Because again, like CP said it, you're going backwards. You're gonna go right back to trying to get a whole new quarterback, and it's not gonna work out for you.
So, cakewalk, the Bengals, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Without Lamar Jackson, the Bengals look. We'll get into it. But the Bengals right now, to me, look legit.
Yeah. They scare me the most, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. It's weird that we have already two matchups right here. They're both divisional rivals between the Bills and the Dolphins, and also the Ravens and the Bengals. Right? This is the third time. This is the third time they're going to play each other this year. We said it earlier in the show. If Tua was healthy, it's a shot. They're giving him a shot, right? Obviously, they went to the battle of the death in both games in Miami and in Buffalo to each of them get a win. Right? Maybe not the same with the Cincinnati Bengals and the Ravens too as well. Do you at least give the Ravens somewhat of a chance since it's the third time around against the Cincinnati Bengals, or is it just done cakewalk like I just said?
Well, sometimes you got to watch out for, the playoffs. Like, people come with a different mindset. So who knows? Maybe the Ravens defense show up and just, harass Joe Burrow the whole game and make him uncomfortable. I can see maybe a scenario like that, but like, can the Ravens even score though? Because the Bengals defense is no joke neither though. So if Huntley's in there, I haven't even heard about him, like them clearing him this week. First of all, if Anthony Brown has to start that game, then yeah, this is going to be a blowout. But like, even with Huntley, you're just going to hand the ball to Jca 40, 50 times and just hope you get somewhere. Like, Bengals have been pretty good against the run too. So I can't see no scenario unless the Ravens defense totally sharpen and just go crazy, which I really haven't seen that much this season. That's the only way I see this game being competitive is if the Ravens defense make it competitive.
That's true. It's if they make it competitive, and I just think offensively, the Bengals have firepower coming from everywhere.
Challenged.
Yeah, it's from everywhere. They got it. They're getting production from the wide receivers, the tight ends, the running backs. They can get you literally from however they want to. That's what I'm saying. This team.
That's how you build a team.
Yeah, they're showing you that last year was not a fluke, at least in my eyes.
No, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely.
I was one of those people. I
mean, a lot of people were, and I get why. I understand why, because it's a 1 year they come out of nowhere, right? Like, it's like, can he really do it? Like, a lot of people really don't believe in Joe Burrow, but I mean, dude, they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. They're coming out and they're destroying teams. They're coming out scary, man. I'm telling you, I'm looking at that team and I'm impressed. I didn't think they were going to be this good this season either. but they're showing that they belong in the top echelon in the NFL for sure.
Right. Kansas City can't seem to get past them. They were definitely going to beat Buffalo before that game got stopped. Like they I mean, who in the AFC? Like they're a safe bet in the AFC, to be honest, because the Chiefs can't stop a cold. I mean, they got Russell Wilson looking like, the 2013 Russell Wilson. Like, hey,
you know what, man? Give credit to that coaching staff and then the interim coach, whoever came in, because they did look pretty. They look legit. Bye, Natalie.
Say bye. As this is Bring Your Daughter to Your Podcast show today with me here, Eric Avila, and the Jca Sports Podcast going to live. And we want to know what you guys think too as well. Who do you guys believe is going to win between the Bengals and the Ravens? Is it a cakewalk how we both believe, all three of us believe, that it's going to be between the Bengals and the Ravens? Just make sure, as always, guys, make sure you guys like and share. Put your answer right here in the comment section, or join us like CP. The link is on the comment section too as well. So be on the lookout for that. We just want to know what you guys think. All right, guys. This next matchup is the battle of firsts, right? First time these two quarterbacks are in the playoffs with, Justin Herbert, who about time he's in the playoffs with this team that he got. Rightfully so. They got healthy at the right time. They've been playing really good football. Offensively, they've been scoring. What's his name? Austin Eckler looks like he's just rewound the clock and just found his game out of nowhere. And obviously with the weapons that Justin Herbert has. And the first time coming of Trevor Lawrence, who, let's be honest, he's in the same draft class as Justin Fields, but his organization did help him out, other like the Bears. So you see what you can do when you have weapons around him in this first go around. And it's a very interesting matchup because we know the superiority of the I was about to say the San Diego Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers, and them with the overall weapons what they have, but they go from west to east going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Guys, this is a battle of the first-time quarterbacks. Which quarterback is going to prevail and come out with a W this weekend? Is it going to be the Chargers or is it going to be the Jags? I know Jose's answer, but I'm going to go with CP with this one.
Look,
CP,
my answer isn't as transparent as you think it is, but go ahead, CP.
Yeah, this by far will be, in my eyes, the best playoff game this weekend. I feel like, man.
Yes.
It's
CP,
gonna be
speak the
exciting.
facts. This is why I miss you, bro. You're the only one that spits facts here.
I'll be so happy to see whether it's the Chargers or the Jaguars win. I'm happy to see both of them succeed. Justin Herbert definitely deserves it. Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer was absolutely horrible. I'm glad he finally got a coach he could count on. So it took me a long time to debate this one, but y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but Trevor Lawrence, man, I see something in his eyes this year. I know the Chargers looking better, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Jaguars, they at home, they're gonna be pumped up for this game. First time in the playoffs in a while. Second year quarterback looking great now.
Yeah.
Jacksonville is back, man. They is back.
Yeah.
As we forget, they were literally a score away from the Super Bowl a few years ago. So
that's true.
Yeah,
hey,
that's true. Yeah, you're absolutely right, CP, and it's the home field advantage where everybody's leaning a little bit towards this game, but the talent level in Los Angeles with the Chargers is better than Jacksonville. And we're gonna go with this Chargers super fan over here, Mr. Jose Contreras. Is he gonna wear his jersey, his Justin Herbert jersey on Saturday? Jose, how does your Chargers line up against the Jaguars?
I am going to wear my my Justin Herbert jersey on Saturday. That's for sure, right? But my answer isn't as transparent as you think it is, Eric. I don't look. As much as I would love to sit here and say that the Chargers are going to win outright, they're going to beat the Jaguars, they're going to dominate, and they're going to advance to the next round. I don't know if that's really going to happen. Look at the last game of the season when they played the Broncos. You talk about the Chiefs making Russell Wilson look like 2013. Russell Wilson.
They did too.
The Chargers let that horrid Denver offense that's been just unbearable to watch all season put up 31 points on them the last game of the season. You know what I mean? And it's like there's no way that was supposed to happen. But the credit, like I said, the credit to the Broncos, because once they fired their coach, they looked a little bit better. But wow, I mean that just tells me that their defense, the Chargers defense, is not ready to play.
Which is weird because they have so many playmakers on that defense.
Many playmakers. They have Bosa, they have Khalil Mack. I just to name a few, right? Just name a couple of them. but it's ridiculous. It's wild, and hopefully they show up in the playoffs, right? But I mean, I'm not worried about them offensively. I am worried about them
That's
defensively. And
that's what I'm worried about.
yeah,
That's why I'm leaning towards the Jaguars
yep,
based on what their defense has shown me lately
exactly.
versus to what the Chargers defense has shown you lately.
Yep.
I
And
don't feel like I can rely on the Chargers defense in the clutch. Where Jaguars defense, if you watch them the last few weeks, they've shut some people down. They've really made it hard on people.
And the one thing about the playoffs in the NFL that we all know is that momentum is everything. And right now, the Jaguars have that momentum after playing against Tennessee, their divisional opponents, winning to clinch. That's a playoff game for them. I'm sorry, their playoffs started last week. That's a playoff game for the Jaguars to clinch the playoffs, to win the division. That you win and you're in, and they needed that win, and that was huge. The momentum's on their side. Chargers are coming off a loss. Jaguars are coming off a win. Man, it's hard for me to pick the Jaguars, but I just may do it.
No, you're absolutely right, Jose. And the fact that they have a team that's coming out west, heading out east, and flying in 3 different time zones and within that span too as well. There's everything is leaning towards the Jaguar side, right? There was a stat that I read earlier in the day talking about how bad first time quarterbacks are playing in the playoffs. Last year they went 0-3, but this time you have a lot of first time quarterbacks, and we're gonna get that on the NFC side too as well. There's going to be a lot of first time quarterbacks. They're gonna get their win with their teams respectfully. For this case, I'm leaning with you guys too as well. I feel Jacksonville has the advantage over here. They're at home. The momentum, like you guys said last week too, they had the Titans game where they had a win in their end, so their playoffs, you were right, Jose, started last week. Everything leans over to the Jaguar side. I kind of want to lean towards the Chargers simply because I feel like talent will prevail in the playoffs. And I know in the football, it's rare for that to say it because it's more like a team oriented type of game. But the talent level of the Chargers is making me feel like the Chargers can pull this one out. But man, this game is tough to pick, bro. This is like the ultimate pick 'em in any gambling side, whatever you want. So I'm gonna lean to the Jags slightly, but I won't be surprised if the Chargers come up with the win. So yeah, you guys are listening to the Jca Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Guys, make sure you follow the JCA, the John Konabi Facebook page, along with the Star 6 Media platform too as well, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, and on Instagram and TikTok. Guys, make sure you hit the little bell on both the John Konabi and the Star 6 Media page to get notified when all our shows are live. Guys, let's switch it on over to the NFC side. Interesting matchups, to say the least. Let's go with the least interesting one, at least in my books, right? Between the Minnesota Vikings and the New York Giants in a game where you kind of don't know where you want to lean to. You could kind of see on paper what team is superior than the other, right? Between the Vikings and the Giants. It could lean either way, guys. Who do you guys have for this game? Do you guys have the Minnesota Vikings or do you guys have the New York Giants? Let's go with Jose.
Another game where the obvious isn't so obvious to me. I want to say the Minnesota Vikings could come out and win this, but I don't see it happening. I just don't see it. I think I just, for whatever reason, I could see the New York Giants coming in and beating the Vikings sounding. There's just something about Kirk Cousins and how inconsistent that Vikings offense can be. But you look at talent, they have more talent in Minnesota. But I don't know, man. I trust for whatever reason, and it might be just blind faith, but I trust the Giants coming out and winning this. I could see Saquon Barkley just coming out and having an absolute game, and I think I'm going to go Giants.
Nice. All right, CP, what do you got?
Same. I don't trust Kirk Cousins. I never have. This is going to be one of those probably sloppy games. I mean, we've seen how Minnesota looked against Green Bay, and even, I mean, they didn't play that much against Chicago, but like, bro, Minnesota. Everybody has looked at them all year as like, they're doing amazing things, but everybody sees them as a one and done, regardless of who they played, whether it was Dallas, Tampa Bay, anybody in the NFC. The Minnesota is clearly the most vulnerable and the team you want to play the most because we get to play first Cousins our first week in the playoffs, of course. Like, Giants lucked up with this matchup, and Brian Daboll is going to find a way to expose Kirk Cousins. I mean, that's easy anyway. But I think I see Kirk Cousins throwing at least 3 interceptions in this game. The Giants defense, there's some monsters over there. Don't sleep on their defense.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is playing better. I think he'll probably use his legs a lot in this game. Saquon, like you said, I see a big game. Running backs typically have big games against Minnesota's defense. So, yeah, this is going to be a game where Daniel Jones probably won't throw the ball that much. It's going to be literally the Giants running it down Minnesota's throat. And just don't let Justin Jefferson cook you. That's all I can say, because keep him in check and y'all should be good. I don't see, but y'all, like I said, it's Kirk Cousins, bro. Like, Giants will find a way to make him hurt.
I mean, you guys bring up excellent points. That's 100% sure. And you're right. We see Kirk Cousins twice a year ever since he became a Minnesota Viking, and we know what it is. I still have that 2018 flex game where he against the Chicago Bears, where he said they put this game in prime time because of us, not because of them. Remember, that's the 2018 Bears that set records on defense. That was the historical defense. And I laughed at that because he threw 3 interceptions, barely threw for 100 yards, barely even threw for a touchdown at that game too as well. To me, that's why I always found Kirk Cousins as mediocre as it can be, right? And I get it. He has flashes. He has flashes so far this season. The Minnesota Vikings have the best records in one-score games. The Minnesota Vikings are in the top 5 or top 10 in offense as a collective group in running and also in passing. The Minnesota Vikings have all the talent in the world. Defensively, they're not there. And you guys are absolutely right. You guys hit it on the head. I could see it in 2 ways. This is 2 ways I see this game. Either a blowout from the Minnesota Vikings or a game that's so close, like how you guys predicted with the running game of Saquon Barkley, where this is going to be the Saquon Barkley game. And, excuse me. And this is going to be the game that gets him paid for whatever team he's going to go to next year and prove to him that this guy is an elite quarterback or running back in this league. The Giants already have an advantage because the Minnesota Vikings are playing under the lights in the biggest game, and Kirk Cousins chokes under the big lights in any matchup, whether if it's Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, or even the playoffs. I'm leaning to you guys too as well. I'm saying the Giants as well. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a blowout the other way around, but I'm also leaning towards the Giants in this matchup. I think they have less to lose, and it's going to be a lot of question marks from this Minnesota Vikings defense, whether if they win this matchup or lose this matchup. Still question marks about what the Minnesota Vikings are going to be next year.
Regardless of the fact, right? Both these teams, you got to give credit where credit's due, because both these teams have literally an organizational revamp. Like they both got new GMs, new head coaches come in, and they're both in the playoffs their first year. That says a lot about that culture and that style of coaching that they brought in. And the one thing about the Vikings that I would give them offensively, at least like this, the reason why we say the Giants wins because it all falls on Kirk Cousins. But Kirk Cousins has better weapons than Daniel Jones does, man. With Hawkinson as tight end, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen at wide receiver, you have Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison as your running backs. All you really got to do is not throw an interception. All you really got to do is be consistent and not screw it up for your team. And you should make it far in the playoffs with the team around you. You should.
But you won't.
That's right.
I love it, CP. I miss you, bro. As we're in the comments, you guys, make sure you guys also put your comments on here. Who you guys think are going to win over this game this weekend from the NFC and the AFC side? As we have Diggs on here, say, yo, what's up, G? What's going on, Diggs? I hope everything is going well with you as well. Let's go down that pattern too as well. I'll save this one for last. And another interesting matchup of another quarterback matchup. So first, right? And a very interesting matchup to say the least too as well. Again, another division rival playing for the 3rd time this season. This time in the playoffs, but this time 2 quarterbacks are first time in the playoffs too as well as Geno Smith. Yeah, Geno Smith, guys. Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks are in the playoffs. And they're playing against not Trey Lance and the 49ers, not Jimmy G in the 49ers, but Brock Purdy, undefeated Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers in a matchup that has interest all over because of storylines. You have Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks that everybody left them for dead. They should have been in the position where the Chicago Bears are in right now. We'll talk about later in the show too as well. And the 49ers who were Super Bowl favorites, Super Bowl contenders. Their starting quarterback went down around the week after, they played against the Bears, and their backup quarterback, who everybody loves, and everybody thought that this is the quarterback that they needed to go over the hump and to make the playoffs because nobody trusted Trey Lance, ended up breaking his leg too as well. And just when this team was out for dead, Brock Purdy comes up and proves that Kyle Shanahan is that man as a coach. So, guys, who do you choose? You choose the 49ers or you choose the Seattle Seahawks? CP, I want to know, who do you got?
Man, Kyle Shanahan, without a doubt, probably next to Andy Reid, by far is the best coach in the NFL right now.
Respect, I'll give you that one.
Without question. I can never go against San Francisco, not with that defense. I'm so proud of Geno Smith and what he accomplished this year. He deserves so much credit, and I don't feel like Seattle should, they owe him that much to at least give him another year. Don't draft a quarterback just yet, but hey, what he say? They wrote me off and I didn't write back. I think it ends here though. Seattle is just too, all over the place for me to actually pick them to upset the 49ers. Who knows? Maybe Pete Carroll finds a way to expose Brock Purdy or something, but Kyle Shanahan is a genius. If you want to create a coach, you create a player on Madden, if you want to create a coach, it would be like Kyle Shanahan. That's who you would create. San Francisco defense probably dominates this game. Now, I know they looked iffy towards the end of the season, but all year they've been super dominant. I'm not going against Nick Bosa and those guys. San Francisco probably wins this one. Seattle will try to make it somewhat competitive, but some 27-13 in that area. I don't think San Francisco will score too much. Seattle going to come out, play with heart, get a best effort, but I don't see – I'd be really shocked if Seattle finds a way to pull this off.
Jose, what storyline is was better for you throughout the season? The Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks counting them out? Or this Kyle Shanahan and how he could make any quarterback look like a superstar in the 49ers now in the playoffs?
Put you up in there, Jose.
Right, for real. Honestly, it's tough. To answer your question, right, what's the better storyline? I gave Seattle no chance this season at all. I had them as a 1 to 2 win team.
3 or 4.
Right, coming into this season. So just the fact that they're in the playoffs, the fact that Geno Smith, who revived his career in Seattle after I thought he was done after being in New York. Credit to him, credit to the coaching staff, credit to this entire organization. Both Seattle and San Francisco showed you what a good organization is, what a good culture is, what good coaching is. Because regardless of who the quarterback is, all you got to do is plug and play, and you should still be successful. And you're seeing it on both sides and both teams. And so credit to them, both of them, man. The 49ers, we after the playoffs they had last year going into the NFC Championship game, you kind of figured, okay, this team's legit, right? After losing to the Bears week 1, I was like, okay, maybe this team isn't it, but let's be honest, it was because of Trey Lance, right? But this team is showing me, man, this team is scary. This team is just like I view the 49ers in the NFC like I view the Bengals in the AFC. I wouldn't be surprised if those two teams are the last two teams.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? The 49ers, I think this could be their year. They've been so close for so long.
So close.
For so long, they've been so close, so consistent. And they just added and added and added to this team. And regardless of who the quarterback is, they just win. They win. Now, I don't know how I call this an experiment. I don't know how this Brock Purdy experiment's gonna last though. Because he isn't the quarterback. He isn't a franchise quarterback in my eyes, and that's gonna show in the playoffs, because in the playoffs where everything gets magnified, right? You literally game plan for him and this team. So let's see what Pete Carroll can do, right? But if it's not Pete Carroll this week, it's gonna be whoever they face next week going against him. So I mean, I think if there's a weakness in this 49ers, I guess, team, it might just be Brock Purdy.
The only weakness.
And that's funny that you guys say that, because that's what everybody keeps saying, and he keeps proving everybody wrong. Yeah. Having performances every week ever since he became the starting quarterback once Jimmy G went down. And he's Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. He's the last pick. I think it was 2 years ago. He was the last pick of the NFL draft that the 49ers got. And yet here he is now in his biggest game so far of his early career with the team that's stacked. Christian McCaffrey is your running back. Deebo Samuel is your number one. You also have George Kittle as your tight end. This guy has weapons galore. And just like how we said about Kirk Cousins, right? A veteran. I was about to say crafty. He's not really that crafty, but a veteran with a lot of weapons. That's basically Brock Purdy with the San Francisco 49ers, just with a better defense. And I think in this game, in this aspect, I think Kyle Shanahan, what he does well is he puts his quarterbacks in great situation. Whether if it was Trey Lance, Trey Lance is just another story. But definitely Jimmy G throughout the whole entire years that he's been having him with. He went to the Super Bowl with Jimmy G, so that says something about Kyle Shanahan, what he has done. He made the rejuvenant career of Matt Ryan, who went to the Super Bowl that year with the Atlanta Falcons, just blew it all up, right? Everywhere that this guy has gone, his quarterbacks always shine. It's no different, and it shouldn't be no surprise that he made this guy, who was the very last pick of the NFL draft, be in the position where he's at right now. That's why I give more of a side. I give more to the San Francisco 49ers than I do the Seattle Seahawks. Albeit, look, both storylines are ridiculous and entertaining, and you could go this and that way with both teams. But I think the San Francisco 49ers, like Jose said, this looks like their year. And going all the way to the Super Bowl and possibly maybe even winning it. I know that's a stretch, but it's definitely a very strong contender for the NFC for sure in the San Francisco 49ers. I'm leaning the San Francisco 49ers. I feel like they're going to beat them by a touchdown or maybe even more than like by 10. Give me the 49ers against the Seahawks this week. But this is an interesting matchup because this NFC is so wide open. Like anybody in this NFC is open to go all the way to the Super Bowl because there's not really that much convincing in any team outside of the 49ers. But again, like we just said, he's a guy that got picked last in the draft for a reason. We ended off the wild card weekend on Monday night between the Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Excuse me. And two teams that honestly it's been very interesting to follow and watch throughout the whole entire season. Two teams that have talented squads on both offense and defense. Two teams that have a quarterback that one's up in age and we don't know how much he has left in the tank. When a quarterback on the other team where you don't know what he has in the tank, right? A team in offense that has a decent running back in Leonard Fournette and also Ezekiel Elliott. Number one wide receivers in Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, whichever one you want to put in, and CeeDee Lamb, right? Defenses that, can show up right then and there. So, Cowboys and the Bucks, guys, make me a believer in each team. And who do you guys going to choose in this one? Let's go with CP with this one. CP, who do you got?
Man.
Exactly. That's how I feel too. Like, damn.
These two, I would hate to be a fan of either team going into this game. Like, you're literally shaking because you just don't know what can go wrong or will go wrong with these two teams. And on the Cowboys side, they are so undisciplined and the penalties kill them all the time. Their defense does not look like what it did at the beginning of the season. We were talking to them as world beaters, like, oh my God, the Cowboys so scared. And now it's like, it's so easy to score against them now. And Dak, oh my goodness, he led the league in interceptions this year, didn't he? No,
I think it was Josh Allen.
I think
I'll look that up right now.
I think he's up there, and I think he did it in 5 less games. Like, he's throwing a pick 6 in 2 straight games, bro. Like, I don't know what to expect from Dak. I don't know which Cowboys is going to show up because we just seen a third string quarterback make them look like child's play. Like come on. And it's like Tom Brady, the Buccaneers have been horrible all year. Like, let's just be honest. Like, they have looked awful. Tom Brady, Father Time is showing you why it's undefeated. And I know everybody keeps saying it's Brady, but I don't know. I don't know who's going to crack this game, but only reason I'm going Buccaneers because the Cowboys, like, they do this stuff, like, and I don't think that will change until they get a new head coach. Mike McCarthy was never the answer to me, and they just seem undisciplined. They just seem like they don't listen to him. They don't respond to him. You need a coach you're going to respond to, and Jerry Jones is just he's stubborn, and he just don't want to hire somebody who got a mind of their own. If Sean Payton was in there, I'd be picking Cowboys no without a question, like no. But it's Mike McCarthy. Cowboys are going to show up, get penalized 9 different times. You know those refs are going to look out for Brady. Buccaneers are going. It won't be a lot, but Buccaneers will find a way to steal this game just because Tom Brady is Tom Brady and the Cowboys is the Cowboys. And I just don't trust Dallas right now with the way they've looked lately.
No, you're absolutely right, and you're right. Dak Prescott was actually tied for the number one for the most interceptions in the league with
5
Davis
less
Mills.
games. 5 less games.
5 less games. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Jose. Are you going with your Cowboys or are you going with your Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Who do you got for this one?
With my Cowboys or my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I don't root for either team, but
I mean, you root for almost every team in this league, but outside of your own favorite team in Chicago.
Quiet, shut up. That's not true. However, I did come on this podcast and said, before the season started, I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys made it all the way to the Super Bowl. Came on not that far back, a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, when we had our boy Sam on here, and I said the Cowboys look legit. And I'm not running away from that statement. I think the Cowboys still win this game, regardless of the fact, regardless of all the turnovers and that stat you brought up about Dak Prescott. I don't think the Bucs have it this year. I think the Cowboys do. I think defensively, when they're on, and offensively they have.
When's the last time on though?
Look, I get it, but it's the playoffs, all right. You gotta believe. I could see this team winning against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I can see them winning dominantly, to be honest with you guys. I really can. I can see the Cowboys firing all cylinders this game and making it to maybe the NFC Championship game. But we'll see. I think they face I think winner of this match faces the Eagles. Am I wrong? Or if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter. I think the winner of this matchup plays against the Eagles. So
yeah. So let me retract my statement, because if they're going against the Eagles next, I got the Eagles all the way. But for sure, I think the Cowboys definitely win this game easily.
Easily, okay, all right. I wish John was here to say whatever he needs to say.
It's okay. He'll watch it. You heard me, John. Cowboys easily. Bank on it.
Yeah, man, this one's tough, man, and I want to say, I think out of all the games that are played this weekend, this wild card weekend, right? If there was a road team that has a chance of winning on the road, right? Is the Dallas Cowboys. I honestly don't have that much. Look, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as of the last 3 weeks, have been playing really great football, and it's probably playing at the right time too as well, right before the playoffs. Well, 2 weeks. Maybe
they've been okay football. It's just
okay, right.
Running,
but that's also let's put it in this way. This is also the team that it played in the worst division, in the NFC South. There was really not that much that competition. Everything was too kind of close to each other. Bad teams all around. The Buccaneers just was the best of the worst in the NFC South. If I were to choose this game based on talent alone, I would want to lean a little. I mean, I'm leaning a little bit more to the Dallas Cowboys simply because they have a little bit more on defense. But as history's been well known, you don't bet against Tom Brady. And I am going to lean the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this one. I think the Bucs, just them being at home and them just having Tom Brady and they're clicking on offense at the right time. I will give my pick to the Bucs barely, just barely. I'm talking about like barely.
Right, and I think Dallas it'll be one of those situations where Dallas will lead the whole game, and Tom Brady will lead some crazy game-winning drive to steal it away from them.
Hey, you're not wrong. I can see that too.
That's just how I see it going. And But I understand why Jose is picking Dallas like fully. Like he said, Tampa Bay has looked awful like the whole
Yeah.
year. They're 32nd in rushing for a reason. Like you just don't know what to expect out of them. It's going to be a lot of dink and dunks from Tom Brady. Like, is that really going to get you where you want to go? And I don't know what to expect. I mean, like I said, it was Carolina that last week. Like they got a good, rushing defense. It's hard to run against them, but as far as passing, yeah, Carolina's secondary has been awful lately. So Tampa, I don't know what to expect, but the only reason I picked Tampa is like that's not my faith in the Buccaneers. That's my, what I expect from the Cowboys, what I've just seen from like the past decade or something, like how they give these playoff games up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's two teams that are coming off losses, right? With the Bucks against the Falcons, and in a very horrible performance between the Cowboys and the Commanders. So two teams that are coming off losses, and we'll see which one will take the advantage again. I think all of us except Jose have all picked home teams to win this week. He has the Cowboys against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as the only road victory this week, and
I picked the Niners.
the Niners are at home.
Yeah, I picked the Niners.
Right, like you said, you picked. We've all picked every home team except for you that picked the Cowboys.
Yeah.
See, listening is key. So it goes to show you guys now that this team or the playoffs have been expanded to what, and it's 7 teams, whatever the case may be. It just seems that like there's more parity. There's more like there's the home teams will always have the advantage in this first weekend, and it's always the next weekend where we're kind of see where like, okay, cool. Now we could dissect on which team plays against who. This game, like, was it a mistake for the NFL to add that extra team to the playoffs?
No, not at all.
No, not at all. Because look at this week. There's a lot of divisional games in the playoffs, and as we know, these teams play each other twice a year, and they know each other well. If there's ever going to be an upset, it's always going to be in your own division.
Right, it's always going to be competitive.
Yeah, it's always going to be competitive. It's always going to be in your own division. The Seahawks can upset the Niners. The Ravens can upset the Bengals. These teams know each other. These teams are well coached. They know how to play against each other. Do it twice a year. I think it's perfect.
All right, then.
Every last one of those teams deserve to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys are listening, watching the Jca Sports Podcast here under the John Conavi Facebook page, the Star 6 Media Facebook platform, and also YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch on both platforms too as well, guys. Make sure you hit the little bell to get notified when all our shows are live. Not only just the John Conavi, the Jca Sports Podcast, but also the EAFP, Only Football, Big League Chicago, and many more other podcasts under the Star 6 Media platform. Guys, we're moving on. The Bears got the first overall pick this Sunday, thanks to the Texans and Lovie Smith.
Shout out Lovie Smith.
To sacrifice his job for the Bears to get the number one pick. So we want to thank Lovie for that one. Lovie, we know you still love Chicago. Real quick, let me just get this out of the way. Any Lovie Smith Chicago Bears reunion coming up this offseason? Yes, no, maybe so. Real quick.
Maybe as a defensive coordinator, man.
Yeah, maybe as that, but that's about it.
I know. I wasn't saying head coach, guys. I'm just saying a reunion. He could be defensive coordinator because Allen Williams didn't look good, even though he had no talent on that defense.
Yeah, I might say he didn't have much to worry with. I believe in Allen Williams.
Me too.
So yes, right? Bears Lovie reunion some way somehow.
No.
Okay, all right. Well, since we put that down to bed, so the Bears now have they're like Jose said, they were on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock on April 20. I think it's April 27th for the NFL draft in 2023. We sort of kind of gave our scenarios on Monday in the Big League Chicago. If you guys didn't watch it, we're going to give it to you again. But I want to start off with CP on what. If you were Ryan Poles, CP, what would you do with that number one pick? Or what would you do overall in this draft?
I had to, normally when I wake up, my TV is normally on, ESPN, ESPN2, watching all the sports shows and stuff. Just taking in what I can, hearing other people's opinions, and like what I heard, I was so disgusted. And it shows you that there's no true Bears fans in the media at all.
None.
Like they They all think trade Justin Fields and draft Bryce Young. Why? Why in the hell would we do something like that?
And you're getting that from a lot of different people, which makes no
It's
sense.
everywhere. You're hearing it
Yeah.
on every sports network. Trade Justin Fields, draft Bryce Young. That is, did y'all not watch football this year at all? Like, did y'all not watch any Chicago games? Did y'all not
No.
watch Justin Fields at all?
You know damn well they were watching Justin Fields.
First of all, that would be the most disrespectful thing towards Justin Fields. Like, no player would ever trust us again if we pull some shit like that.
I told the guys that I might just renounce my Bears fandom if they do.
You have to,
bro. You already
have to.
Stop.
I'm sorry, but you have to if they pull some shit like that. Like,
Dude, I would be pissed.
Like, okay, Fields, we know what we need now. We know what he is. We know what we need to do. Surround the guy with some talent and go from there. But as much as I would like one of those top defensive guys, was it Will Anderson and Jalen Carter? Yeah. I would love one of those two, to be honest. But I mean, it's so obvious here. And I saw a report about the Colts are trying to trade up with the Bears. Like, they need a quarterback more than anyone. Yep. And something tells me they're going to give up an arm and a leg for like everything they have to get up there. So it begins. The bargaining begins. It's going to be a huge. Bears are going to be taking calls like nonstop from here till April. I mean, Seattle, Jets, they're all going to be trying to trade up to that number one pick. So as much as I would like to draft one of those defensive guys, you need everything. Like, you need a lot. So the perfect scenario I would see is obviously the Bears trading down and getting as much as they can, because we remember what we gave up for Mitch Trubisky. We can't forget that. This is the number one.
Right.
We did that just to move one spot from 3 to 2.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody was going to take Mitch. Nobody was going to take him. We should, after learning, we should have learned from that situation and learn like what number one picks are worth. So I'm expecting, like, and I'm still kind of like irritated. Like, I hope Chase Claypool turns into something, because that other pick was basically a first round pick. But
yeah,
I hope the best scenario I see is Bears acquiring multiple picks, whether it be from this draft and future drafts, whatever the case may be. I'll be happy as long as they get a haul. And if I'd be surprised if they do. But if they sit tight and draft, Jalen Carter or the other guy, I wouldn't have a problem with that neither. But in no crazy ass scenario would I ever drop Justin Fields. I don't know what the hell Ryan Poles is even saying that for. We really have to be blown away. You leaving the door open a little bit.
Yeah, you got to. And just like I mentioned Monday, you got to kind of give that like impression that there might be an opportunity for teams to be like, oh, well, if that's the case, let me give you this, let me give you that, right? Damn well, at least I know damn well he's not going to do it, but he has to try to. He can't show his cards. You know what I mean? He has to show his poker.
Right, but I don't even think he needs to do that, because of, like, if teams think Bryce Young is what he is, like, you're going to try to trade up and get that guy. The Texans aren't the only team that needs a quarterback desperately. We know that. We know the Jets, Seahawks, Panthers, and a few other teams up there, they're going to be aggressive to try to move up. That puts the pressure on Houston and whoever else to do what they can to get one of those top quarterbacks, especially like Bryce Young, Will Levis, or who was the other guy? CJ Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're going to have to do what you can to move up there. And I just didn't feel like Ryan Poles, like, I know he believes in Justin Fields. I know he's just trying to, sell the pick and just hype it up. But, like, come on now.
No, definitely. I agree. I like I said, I said it for fun, right? On Monday's podcast with Big League Chicago, and I did say, you know what? I want chaos. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing Justin Fields getting traded to the Houston Texans for their second pick and their 12th pick, along with maybe another pick after that too as well. Because mind, there's only the Texans, the Texans, the Lions, and I want to say it's the Seahawks, the Lions, and the Texans are the only ones that have 2 first-round draft picks this year. And the Philadelphia, no, that's it. those are the only ones that you kind of want to trade with, right? But I'm gonna stay away, far away from the Detroit Lions as much as possible, even though they have two first round picks. But I'm a man of chaos. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that where you trade Justin Fields to the Houston Texans for their second pick and for their further two first round picks and multiple picks to go along with that too as well for this year and next year too as well.
I got a scenario for you, Eric, with the Lions if you want to hear it.
What's up?
I got a scenario for you with the Lions if you want to hear it.
What?
All right. So my thing is this. You have the number one pick. How poetic would it be, right, for the Colts to trade you after they lost? They really won, right? Get the number one pick over the Texans. They get their quarterback. You drop down a 4, right? Whatever the Colts give you, they give you, regardless of the fact they're going to give you the number 4 pick. That number 4 pick, you could then trade that to the Lions for the number 6 and for the number 18th pick. The Lions might want to move up ahead of Seattle for the defensive line, the defensive edge, because that's the one thing this year that they need besides the quarterback. That's the one thing that they really struggle with was defensively. And Seattle's also another team that's looking for defensive edge rushers and looking for defensive linemen. So maybe you could try to trade that 4th pick to Lions for the 6th and 18th. I'm just saying here, with the Bears, you could trade multiple first-round picks for other first-round picks. You can make a lot happen.
And I get what you're saying, Jose, but at the same time, why does that make any sense when you're helping your own team that you play twice in 1 year? Why would you give them the best defensive player? Why would you give them the best defensive player on their team that you face twice a year, every year for the next 5-6 years, depending how long the player's there?
Because they're giving you 2 first-round. Because you're dropping from 4 to 6, so you're still in the top 10, and then they're giving you an additional first-round pick.
And I hear what you're saying.
In return, they're helping you out as well.
And
I
get what you're saying.
When you have
I wouldn't want to help my team in the own division. Like that didn't make sense. It didn't make sense when the Lions traded away T.J. Hawkinson to the Minnesota Vikings. Like, why would you help your own team in your own division?
Stop it! You don't walk around scared with your tail between your legs just because they're in the same division. You do what's best for your organization. All right. So if the Lions give you the best trade, you trade with the Lions. That's point blank, period.
You're saying they shouldn't trade with the Lions at all, Eric?
Right? He said they shouldn't. Don't pussyfoot around the fact that they're in the same division.
If they offer the best deal, you got to go that way.
Exactly.
Hell no. Nah.
Yes.
If they offer the best deal, of course. You can't look at it as, we're scared.
There's no point of me making my division rival better than I know
they are making you better in return. It's called trade for a reason. It's all about value. Just because you give them a higher pick doesn't mean that necessarily they're going to do well with it. And same with you. But what you're doing is you're getting back return a lot more than you need.
I understand that part. That part you don't have to explain to me. Like I get that point blank period. Like I understand that 100%. That's why it doesn't matter. But I just would see. I'd rather have like who else has like what was it? Seattle, who has 2 first-round draft picks. They're in the same conference, but you don't face them twice a year. I'd rather have that. They're still going to help you out the same way that the Lions are going to help you, but instead you don't face them twice a year like you do the Detroit Lions.
But Seattle's only going to want to move up once. What I'm saying is, if you trade with the Colts, you stay at number 4. Seattle's at 5. They're only going to want to move up 1 if they think you're going to take the guy that they want. That's the only way. But so you're basically competing with yourself there. So it's like, you know what? We're not going to take the guy. We'll trick them into taking a guy. And then maybe you can do what the 49ers did with the Bears that many years ago when they traded for Mitch Trubisky, right? They made them think they were going to take him. They tricked them. They literally moved 1 spot up for no reason. And it's like, come on, you know what I mean? So it's like you could do something like that, but that's not always going to work. So that's why I say you trade with the Lions to try to compete with the Seattle Seahawks, and then you never know.
Nah, I don't like that. I'd rather not help out my rival in my division twice, even though they can have. Well, I mean, 2 was great, right? All right, cool. 2 first-round draft picks, great. If they have 3 or 4, okay, maybe I'll think about it a little bit. But just for 2, where you draft in the top 10 for 1, and you have to wait like in the middle of the second,
it doesn't just have to be those 2. You can get more from them. I'm just saying.
I know you're gonna get multiple picks. You may get another pick in the 4th round this upcoming draft, and maybe 1 second round for next year. Like, and I understand that's the whole point of doing these trades.
So if they're the ones that can give you that. Because not all teams can give you that, but if they can, why not? Doesn't matter if they're in the same division. You got to beat them no matter what. Don't be scared of other teams. Regardless of the fact, any team that you trade with are still going to be your competitors at the end of the day. Just because they're not in the same division doesn't mean those aren't going to be your competitors in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl or whatever. They're still competitors at the end of the day. So you treat it as such, and you do what's best for your organization, and that's point blank, period.
Yeah, you can't think that way as a GM, Eric. Like that, you can't play scared. Like you got to be aggressive with these things. Like you got to believe in yourself as a GM that even if I trade with this guy, I can still build a better team than him to be better than him. It's up to the Bears. Even if Lions, they trade with the Lions and the Lions draft another great defensive guy. Okay, it's up to you to draft right with all those picks they gave you. You got all that cap space to build around Justin Fields, and you build a better team to whoop the Lions' ass. You don't go scared. Oh, I'm not going to trade with them because they're going to be better than me. No, you've proved it to yourself as a GM that you can build a team to be better than them.
And at this point, right now, Ryan Poles hasn't really proved himself as a good GM with the picks and the trades that he has made
this year.
Hey.
So like
it's all or
again,
nothing now.
In that aspect, I wouldn't trade for the Lions because of that aspect, because his draft picks. I mean, Gordon and Briscoe were great. After that, I mean, Valus. I mean, I guess Braxton Jones, who he got in the 6th round, who played all year, great. But remember, he traded, like you said earlier, CP. He traded was essentially as a 1st-round pick, and Chase Claypool to this team doesn't look that very great, but it's kind of an incomplete. I want to see what he does this offseason. What he does this offseason with it, see if that it's valid. But yeah, man, like I know the pressure's on, but look, the Bears, even the Bulls too, right? They have a lot of holes, but the Bears have a lot of holes in this team. That you're right. This is going to be the most interesting offseason for us as Bears fans for what the Bears have gone and where they're at right now, number 1 pick overall, right? Whether if they trade back for Houston, whether they trade back with Indianapolis, whether if it's CJ Stroud, whether and we don't even know what the hell. Like we're talking about trades that we don't even know who the hell we're even going to get because we don't know where we're drafting. And at the end of the day, watch us not trade at all. We're stuck with the number 1 pick, and let there be chaos. Let them draft CJ Stroud, and then let them trade all that CJ Stroud away for a pick simply because, all right, you guys don't want to trade with me? Here's how I cause chaos. Bears number overall pick.
You're not playing Madden, Eric.
No, I know, but I'm saying I just like chaos. Let the chaos happen, bro. Why not? If they don't want to trade with you because you know you're not going to get a quarterback, then draft that damn quarterback and forcefully trade them. Yeah, I know that's
have Chicago fans
silly,
outside,
but whatever.
It
is what it is. But we know that the Bears got the number 1 overall pick. There's many different ways that the Bears can trade this pick away or keep this pick. Maybe not. We will see. But we have a long time from here to April 27th when the Bears are on the clock for real, and see what they're going to do with the number 1 overall pick. You guys are watching the Jca Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Guys, we are, as the season ended, so did our Fantasy Football League too as well. We have a winner. It's me again. No, it's not really me. I came in last on my league this year. But the winner did not come from my league. Jose, did it came from John's league?
No, it came from mine. It came from the real league, the real Fantasy Football League in the JCA.
And this is where we cut him off, and then I have the winner right here with me. And then, all right, so the winner I have right I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But no.
Hater.
Never hate.
Yeah, the winner
I was the champ last year, by the way, so, you know.
I know. Yeah, no one cares. But, yeah, the winner came from my league. It wasn't me. I came last as well. So it definitely but let me just announce who the winner was. It was Larry. I don't have a last name for Larry. Do I have a last name for Larry?
Larry Borum?
I don't know who Larry is.
No, it's not Larry Borum.
Larry G. Larry G's legendary team has won with a grand total of 143-36. He had the most points in the finals than the champion in John's league and the champion in Eric's league. So shout out to Larry G. That was the 3rd annual. It's the 3rd annual.
3rd annual. Yep.
He is the winner of the 3rd annual JCA Sports Podcast Fantasy Football League. Congratulations to him. He'll get the trophy and the gift card. Yeah, man. Next year we'll do this again. It'll be a lot bigger. It'll be the Star Six Media Fantasy Football League. So you're gonna have a lot more people, maybe more leagues. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what we do, right? But it'll be fun for sure. Thank you for everyone who participated. Thank you for everybody who joined. It was another great year. Sucked. All three of us, Eric, and John, did not do good in our. See, how'd you do? Did you do?
I finished third.
Okay, you did good. You did better than us. You did way better than us.
Way better than us.
Way better than us. Me, John, and Eric all ended close to last, if not last. So
no, I was definitely in last place. It wasn't even funny. Hold on, let me tell you, my guy. I was 4-11.
Oh my god.
4-11. You know what? I wasn't last. I was ninth. I was 4-9.
4-9.
Yeah, 4-9.
I was 10-4.
Damn, nice. Yep, 4-11 with me. But here's why: I had Jimmy Garoppolo, who was my quarterback, right?
Oh Lord.
I had Kyle Pitts.
You're in John's league, right?
I had,
Yeah.
What was John's?
What was John? His record?
Yeah.
I believe it was like 6 and.
Damn, I had the worst one out of all of y'all. Shit.
Yeah.
Well, you can't win them all, guys. You cannot win them all, but congratulations to Larry G, who will have his trophy and his gift card soon.
Yes, John finished 6-8.
6-8.
Yeah,
nice. So yeah, congratulations.
But he started out a lot worse. He started out like 0-6, something like that. So he did finish strong. It was just injuries just killing him.
Yeah, same with me. My quarterback, my tight end, everybody was gone. I had Jonathan Taylor. So yeah, that's what sucks for me. Nothing but injuries, but it's all good. We're gonna do it again next year. So stay tuned. Well, not stay tuned. It's gonna be a while, but we will give you guys the information when it is right around the corner on how we're gonna do next year's fantasy football league. CP, you're more than welcome, bro, to not only join our fantasy football league, but also join us here on our Jca Sports Podcast.
Can I say real quick? The reason why I didn't win is because I traded away Justin Fields right before he went off.
Going off.
Right before he went off, I got rid of him.
And a lot of people made that mistake.
Oh, that was the worst mistake. Had I kept them, I would have made the finals for sure.
You want to know what's you really want to know what's worse? So I drafted Justin Fields in one of the leagues that I actually went to the final. I drafted Justin Fields. I dropped him. My brother picked him up, and then I traded for Justin Fields. Oh my God. I mean, it worked. I mean, it just sucked, man, because like the way how it was, like we had to do 2 weeks worth of playoffs, like semifinal and final, 2 weeks worth point system, and it just didn't work out. I came in second.
Well, that was a league that Rick took like 6 quarterbacks, so it's like I had Justin Fields, and I didn't think he was going to be who he was.
Yeah, his first 6 picks were all 6 quarterbacks.
It was like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. He had every single quarterback.
He was stockpiling. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. You want to talk about chaos? That's one right there.
Yeah,
for sure. But
I saw that Hop was available. Do you guys think that the Bears should trade for him? Like, would you put him alongside Claypool for Justin Fields? Claypool, Hopkins, and Mooney. Like, you don't like that core?
Oh, man.
The thing about DeAndre Hopkins now, like, he's a special talent. Definitely top 10 wide receiver, top 5 arguably, right, in this league, in the NFL, right? The one thing about DeAndre Hopkins is, from what I've heard and what I kept hearing, is that he doesn't like to practice. And in a team where the Bears are building and trying to build this culture, a guy like DeAndre Hopkins can hurt a team like that, and especially where a quarterback needs reps. Let's be honest, Justin Fields needs reps because he hasn't had a wide receiving core to throw to consistently. So, of course, you're going to need to be able to practice with DeAndre Hopkins, and you're going to need to get that familiarity with him. And it just, I don't know, man. Like, and plus, he's already 31, so it's kind of like
that's my
maybe like a 4th rounder or something.
Well, yeah, if we can get a low draft pick for that, then I'll absolutely do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
I don't want to break the bank for this guy because I've never heard anything about him not wanting to practice. I haven't heard that, but it's
been out there. There's been reports.
It's more so the age and the tread on those tires. You know what I mean? It's just all those miles, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like if we can get like you said a 4, I'll give a 4th rounder for DeAndre Hopkins 100%.
Yeah, it's just so so they can strictly stockpile picks and literally is on the O line and the D line literally their picks and cap space go towards that. I was just thinking along no line. So
I would do it. I would for sure do it 100%.
I mean, it's that one. I've heard the Mike Evans one for the Bears. I've heard the obviously the Devontae Adams, depending on the situation with Derek Carr.
One guy,
right?
One guy, because I still like Mooney. I like Komet. Komet came on toward the end of the year, so you got something there, and you keep Mooney, Claypool as 2 and 3. They're not 1 and 2s, but as a 2 and 3, hell yeah. You just need one number one guy.
No, for sure. That's why it's been so intriguing, because the trade package where you could probably if you want to trade with Indianapolis, somehow, some way throw in Michael Pittman Jr. in there, with the trade package too as well. With the Houston Texans, if you do want to trade with them, probably see if you could acquire Brandon Cooks, and another guy who's a number one receiver, but a super reliable wide receiver. Jose last year was preaching him how he was consistently a 1,000-yard wide receiver.
Not this year.
I mean, but he had nobody to throw to. Let's be honest.
Let's not bring that up, bro.
Is he really still a number one though?
I don't know, man. This year was an anomaly year for him. Definitely not his best year.
But he had no quarterback.
That whole offense was pretty bad.
Yeah, the whole offense was just horrible. They only had a running game, but that's always been Lovie Smith: running game and no passing game, and a decent defense. But not even that was even good for Lovie Smith. But he got us the number one pick, though. So thank you, Lovie Smith, for that one. I appreciate you, Lovie. You
and that man the gift basket.
So I mean, there's a lot of different trade scenarios for the Chicago Bears for sure, and this wide receiver market as a free agent group is looking very, very thin and not that great. So that's why you kind of have to look like those disgruntled wide receivers, like the D Hops, like the Devontae Adams for sure, and maybe we'll see what's up with that. But look, there's going to be a lot to talk about for the next upcoming months before the draft comes up. Obviously, when the draft combine, and obviously the pro days for the college players too as well, and where the Chicago Bears on where they're gonna go. And it's just, I think we're all excited for it. We're all excited. I mean, if it was the second round pick or the second overall pick, I don't think we would be this excited at all. I think now that the Bears got the number one, I think we finally have something to juice to talk about. So we'll see. We got here to April to talk about the Chicago Bears. And from here on out, talk about sports here with the Jca Sports Podcast. I'd like to thank everybody that hopped on. CP, Diggs, Jonathan Plyo. We didn't even get to this question. Guys, who would you rather have, Tua or Kirk Cousins as your quarterback?
Tua.
Where did he put that? Oh, I didn't see that. Oh shit!
Yeah,
I'm sorry, John. My bad, John. My bad. Where would you have rather, Tua or Kirk? Oof, probably Kirk. No, Tua.
Oh, I'm about to say, if you say Kirk.
You say Kirk. I mean, you get consistency. I mean, I'd rather have. You know where I'd rather have Kirk Cousins as my fantasy football quarterback. Kirk Cousins is literally top 10 in every fantasy football category in fantasy football. In fantasy football, he's top 10, guys.
That's a good question.
Tua was killing too, though.
No, I know. I think I had Tua in one of them before he got hurt too as well. But it's a good question. Tua or Kirk, I don't like either. So I'd rather go with Brock Purdy. That's my pick.
No, you got to pick between one and two.
I mean, if I want to, I have no faith in either. But if I would have just a little bit faith in one, I think I'll put my little faith in Kirk Cousins.
You only saw Brock Purdy for 5 games,
and that's all I need. With Kyle Shanahan, that's all I need.
For the moment. Oh.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, John. CP, as always. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Diggs, for everybody that's been commenting on here too as well. Thank you, everybody, for watching us too as well. I know we're on a little late. We're going to be on a little earlier next week, so we got you guys for next week too as well. As always, we like to thank everybody for watching. Just make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok under the JCA John Konavi Facebook page and the Star 6 Media platform. It's for myself, Eric Avila, for Jose Contreras, Jonathan Plyo, and as always, CP, man, we miss you, bro.
Yes.
I miss you.
I'm sorry.
I miss you too,
in this podcast, and you bring it every single time, bro.
Back to our show, please.
I'm back.
Yes,
I appreciate you for hopping on, man.
Outro's gonna be different. Outro's gonna be different today, Eric. I'm gonna replay that intro just so whoever missed it can watch it again in all its profane glory. So
Okay, I guess. Sure, whatever. So I'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And as always, Jose, hit that outro. See you guys next week.